นี้นะคะท่านรัฐมนตรีท่านเอกนัทพร้อมพันธ์พร้อม
Ladies and gentlemen, at the moment the Minister of Industry is in this hall. Please give a big round of applause to welcome the Minister of Industry, Mr. Ekanath Prampan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished guests, I would like to welcome everyone to the annual forum, the 16th annual OIE Forum, or the Office of Industrial Economics. And this is the 16th annual forum titled Industrial Reform, Transforming Thai Industry Towards a New Economy Era. A lot of people might be wondering at the moment, we're entering the new year here from 2024 to 2025. There are a lot of news happening in Thailand in various industries, whether it's politics and economy. And there are many sectors in the industry that we have to look upon. And one of the most important things is the industrial sector. And a lot of you here might see the importance, and you will find the answers to answer other questions about the industrial sector in Thailand, what is happening at the moment. And for today's event, it is by OIE, the Office of Industrial Economics under the Ministry of Industry. I am from MCOT, Thailand, and I will be the MC for today's event. And throughout the event today, we're honored to have with us from the Minister of Industry, Mr. Ekanath Prampan, who gives us the honor and privilege to give the opening remark for our event today. And also he will be delivering a special speech under this title, Industrial Reform, Transforming the Thai Industry Towards a New Economy Era. And you can see that today the Minister of Industry is with his team, and many of his panelists who will be joining with us today. Dr. Nathapol Rangsit-Phol, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry, would be given a report, and there are a lot of things that would be the highlights of today's event, and that is a session of the panel discussion. We're honored to have with us the panelists who will be joining us under the direction to transform the industry into the new economy era. And the panelists who will be joining us today: Mr. Pasakon Thairat, Director of Office of Industrial Economics, and also the Chairman of FTI, Grengai Tianukun, and also Mr. Cheng Chai Thiragunwanit, President of the Thai SME Confederation. And for today's event, we will talk about the objectives first, and also about the process and everything of a report of the Office of Industrial Economics. And may I present you this video presentation. Recent years, the world has faced rapidly evolving, intense, and increasingly complex challenges. Global outbreaks of emerging rapids and the rapid advancement of technology ushering the digital disruption era. and the pursuit of dominance by major powers have reshaped geopolitics, placing pressure on global trade and supply chains throughout the world, and also altering the social structures. In addition, increasingly volatile and severe climate conditions have heightened global awareness. These challenges have profoundly impacted lifestyles, societies, and economies worldwide. The industrial sector, a key driver of Thailand's economy, must swiftly adapt to these multifaceted challenges. The Ministry of Industry, under the leadership of Mr. Ekanath Prampan, Minister of Industry, has initiated policies for industrial reform towards a modern economy, emphasizing 3 key reforms: managing waste and toxic substances that harm public health, ensuring fair competition for Thai SMEs, and also development of environmentally friendly new economy industries. Today, the Office of Industrial Economics, or OIE, as a leading agency in guiding sustainable industrial development of our country, is hosting the 16th OIE Forum under the theme Industrial Reform, Transforming Thai Industry Towards a New Economy, to accelerate industrial reform through collaboration with all stakeholders and gather input from entrepreneurs to enhance the OIE's initiatives, focusing on leveraging existing industries and fostering future industries, such as electric vehicle industry, prioritizing the development of modern automotive industries, smart electronics industry, positioning Thailand as a hub for manufacturing smart electronic devices and systems in ASEAN, medical device industry, enhancing technological capabilities, fostering innovation, and raising the quality and standards of Thai medical devices to international levels. Robotics and automation industry, advancing Thailand as a leader in robotics and automation production and utilization in ASEAN with proprietary technology. Bioindustry, implementing 4 measures: removing obstacles, accelerating investments, stimulating demand, and building networks. Halal industry, driving Thailand to become stimulating demand and building networks in the region. As Thai industries transition to a modern economy, the Ministry of Industry is fully prepared to lead these reforms, seizing the new opportunities with resilience and sustainability. A big round of applause to the video presentation, and this is the commitment of the OIE Office of Industrial Economics for all of you to see the overview of Thailand in the industrial sector. And as you can see, overall, there are a lot of challenges, the multifaceted challenges, because nowadays you can see that development or the transitioning is happening rapidly, unlike the past. It is unprecedented. In the past, it would take some time, for example, 10 years to change something. However, in today's world, whether it's technology advancement or AI, this has disrupted our society and bring about rapid changes. Some people say 5 years, some might say 3 years, and now we might not be certain that it's going to be years or months, but we're going to talk into details from the panel today. And on the next occasion, I would like to invite onto the stage Dr. Nattapong Rangsit-Phol, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry, to talk about the objectives of OIE Forum 16, the industrial reform. Minister of Industry, Mr. Ekanath Prampan. On behalf of the Ministry of Industry, I would like to extend gratitude to the Minister of Industry to give us the privilege and honor by giving an opening remark of this event, OIE Forum 16th Annual Forum, Industrial Reform, Transforming Thai Industry Towards a New Economy. Everyone has known that the industry has played a significant role in transitioning and driving our country, and the Office of Industrial Economics is a really important agency of the Ministry of Industry. And we implement the policies and also planned all the development plans for the country, and also we study and analyze, giving information and input to guide our Thailand's policies in this industrial reform. We have to have it transparency, and also it has to be clear and has to be very comprehensive. We have to fight, save, and fight together, collaborate to change the industrial reform for Thailand towards the new economy and to grow sustainably. Among the challenges and the growth of the world, we live amongst the uncertainties, and we have the urge and we have the commitment to transform all the reform and also to transition the country towards the new economy under the sustainable approach and also comprehensive and balanced. So the policies of the Ministry of Industry is under this economy has to lead the sector. We have to plan the development plan, whether it's about the production, about the services, and also the clean energy usage, and also the skill development for the labor. And also we have to enhance each area's potential on the sustainable growth in 4 dimensions. The first one is we have to guarantee the growth of success of the industries. We have to have the comprehensive plans S-curve in the 12 fields, and also we have to accelerate the sectors that we have at the moment, and we have to bring our Thai industry into the levels of the world. And also we have the product or service, or whether it's the construction or innovative construction. And also we have to use the Thai or soft power to drive our economy, and also we have to enhance the capability, the competitiveness. We have to have a higher standard, whether it's the products and innovations for Thai economy to have a stronger position. And the second dimension, and that is the well-being of the society. We have to encourage the SMEs and also the society to live together harmony, and also for the industry to have very well planned, and also it has to be abide by the laws and do not have any impact on the society. We need to have strict measures to govern, and also we have to change the level of the pollutions for each area. And also the third dimension, we have to follow by the global rules. We have to take care of the environment. We have to transition to the green economy in order to have the business opportunities. We have to reach carbon neutrality, and we have to satisfy the needs of the world and also the country. We have to encourage everyone to abide by the laws, for example, carbon neutrality, water footprint, and also the rules to avoid deforestation. And also we're not going to support any burning that would increase the PM 2.5 pollution. And also we have to give back to the society. We have to increase the strength for our society. We have to hire more people. We encourage more job opportunities, and also we develop the skills of the people in the area. And also we have to build a supply chain with our community. We have to use the arts of the industry for our people so we can change the industry, whether it's a comprehensive agriculture or it's the tourism that connects to the satisfies of each area's needs. And also we have to build that ecosystem in order to build the economy, and we have to enhance everything and put it in the digital platform. It's a one-stop service through the registration of the industry of the Ministry of Industry to alleviate and also to make everyone feel more convenient, and we get to be comprehensive products and services. For example, we have to give advice to people through the digital services, and also to gain permissions through the digital licensing, and also to pay each fee in the digital payment form, and also to file complaints for each entrepreneurs through the ID Pro, and also the reporting of the information through the system, the reporting system, iSingle form. And also we need to have a strict governance with the auditor. This is just for some examples. It is building the infrastructure for our industry to drive the country in the comprehensive and accurate way through the analysis of the industrial index in each area and each field. And also we're going to design the plans and policies to build the economy for the country. And also we have to build that environment that is capable for the investors to do, and also to guarantee the growth and sustainability of the country. So OIE Forum, this is the 16th annual forum, and this is a good opportunity for the exchange of ideas and to inspire people to transform a Thai industry through exchanging knowledge and experiences from the experts and the panelists today who would help strengthen the Thai industry. And we're going to be ready for the new economy era that grows sustainably. I think this is an auspicious and right time to open our event today. I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Ekanath Prompan, the Minister of Industry, to give an opening remarks of OIE Forum, the 16th annual forum this year, and also to give a special delivery. Industrial reform, transforming Thai industry towards the new economy. A big round of applause. Dr. Nathapol Rangsit-Phol, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry. Mr. Pasakon Chairat, Director of the Office of Industrial Economics. Mr. Kurengai Tianukul, Chairman of the Federation of Thai Industries, and also Mr. Sangchai Thirakul Wanit, President of the Thai SME Confederation, and Dr. Pailin Chunsuwan, the Advisor of the Ministry of Industry, and also Phongpon Ranmancharoen, the Permanent Secretary, the Secretary General, and also the representatives from the Chamber of Commerce, and everyone here, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and everyone watching the live streaming, and also the members of the press who are present in this forum. I am honored to be here and to give the opening remark and to share with all of you about an important issue here. And you can see that the event hosted by the Office of Industrial Economics is a big event. It's very crucial. Today, we have a lot of executives and also the heads of the agencies, institutions, and also many industries that under the Ministry of Industry, whether the Thai SME Bank. Everyone is here, you can see. A lot of people who work at the Ministry of Industry, the new gen. You can see everyone is really good looking. They can be movie stars. Because the minister is good looking as well. When I recruit my team, I choose people who are good looking and also who have a good image and also good abilities as well. So we're here at the right time. If you watch the news recently, you can see the main theme is economy. We're hearing that the government is trying to do everything to drive the country's economy forward, more transparent. You would hear that the government is hosting many issues, whether it is enhancing the potential of soft power of Thailand to drive the tourism sector and to drive the country's economy, or even gambling places. We try to eradicate all of that. We try to change the gray into the white in order to increase the value. That helps drives the country's economy. For me, as a Minister of Industry, I'm Ekanath, so I would say that I would want to be the hero one of the heroes, one of the key players and drivers. I just made very ambitious announcement. Some of you might say it's quite ambitious, but I'm sure that in this era where I worked as, and I serve as a Minister of Industry, with a collaboration with all the executives in the ministry or even the private sectors, and also the FTI or Thai SME, I would say that this is the right time. I would make Thai economy recover and to make it a key player and key driver to drive our country's economy, to guarantee growth. I'm going to commit and tell you the numbers. The industrial sector, we have to push the GDP. We have to be one of the contributor, no less than 1%, without using any increase of the budget from the government. And we're going to grow sustainably. We have the responsibility towards our society. We're going to be accountable and sustainable. Today, I make an announcement once again. We have to look at Thailand's economy at the moment. I have said this many times. If we analyze the economy of the country at the moment, I have to admit that we're still recovering. We're in the recovering era from COVID-19 pandemic. We might have underestimated the impact of the COVID-19 on the society. However, at the moment, I would say that we're in the recovering phase. And you can see the debt, the public debt, it's almost 70%. And this impacts the budget allocation of the government. And also, every year, we try to set a budget to, we try to set some budget for the investment to try to increase the government spending to drive the economy. However, once the public debt reach almost 70%, there might be some limitations to set the budget to drive the economies of the country. But we truly hope that the spending or the consumption of the country would recover soon. However, we still have household debt that is really high since the COVID-19 pandemic. The household debt, the bank is not giving loans to people, and this made the consumption a little bit tight and lowered. So I have to say that today, the future is here. It's in the industrial sector, because even though today, with the economic situation at the moment, some people might say we might not fully recover from COVID-19 100%. However, the change that takes place across the world, that we say that the change is quite rapid, whether it's technological disruption or climate change or geopolitics or the trade wars that are happening around the world, most of the people might see that it's a problem, it's a challenge that Thailand has to face. But I see it another way. I see that the change that is happening worldwide is a good opportunity for our country. If we can adapt fast enough, rapidly enough, and we can keep up with the change that happens around the world, I'm sure that the industrial sector, we can recover. Together, we can make our industry recover, and we would be the hero to drive the country's economy. And we can see a lot of opportunities. We can attract foreign investors to have the base of the production in Thailand. And we're going to produce more to export overseas. We would be having 2 engines that's still existing in today's situation. And this would be the key engine, the key driver to drive our country's economy. And we're going to move forward together. However, I have to be honest with you that this mission needs action. Once I serve as the Minister of Industry, I study the development of the industrial sector in Thailand. We have to say that in the past, the industry has always been the hero to drive the country's GDP and economy. I have to say that in the past few years, we have done a lot of good things, and we might be familiar with that, and we do not adapt and change much. So we do what we have done. For example, the production, we can generate income and money every year. We're familiar with those numbers, and we do not change much. But I have to tell everyone here, we have to work together. We have to change. We have to adapt. Me too. I would have to adapt too. And also the government sector, the private, public sector. Thailand today is the destination that can attract investors around the world. Amongst the changes, whether it's sustainability or climate change or technological disruption, but what's really important is the trade wars that gives the impact. And this is the factor that attract foreign investors, and they would like to invest more in Thailand. We have Thailand is in the strategic location from the north to the south. We can connect through land, by sea. We connect to oceans. We have a very strategic location, and that poses a very advantage to the country. And we have a strong infrastructure, and we have invested on this infrastructure for over 10 years with a lot of money. And we have a comprehensive supply chain for the production sector and also the industrial sector. I would have to say our ecosystem is very comprehensive, one of the most comprehensive in our region. We have a country that a lot of people would like to live and retire in. Our people is friendly, we're nice. A lot of foreign investors, when they work with Thai people, they can see the Thai culture, Thai values. We're very open-minded to diversity. We embrace diversity, whether it's religions, the nations, or cultures. However, today, I personally would like to say that we are trying to drive the growth even further. We try to make the change happen in a sustainable way. So today, if we work together, we collaborate public and private sector to accelerate this adaptation to the new economy. It has to be rapid. It has to be strong. We have to reform and transition our industry and move towards the new economy era. And I'm confident that we can seize these opportunities and turn it into something of value. It's only good news that I talk about, whether it's a strategy, location, infrastructure, supply chain, and the values of Thailand. And also the policies that embrace the foreign investment. However, there might be some challenges that we have to address together. Recently, I just talked to the chairman of the FTI. We talk about cost, the energy cost, the electricity, and also the natural resources. We talk about water. The Ministry of Industry, I just signed the new ministerial regulations to give permission to the solar panel installations, so we don't have to ask for permission to install the solar panel anymore in the future. But that is just a teaser. I would have to say this. The new changes of the ministerial regulations. You can see from the news that the Prime Minister said that we have to change the electricity cost. However, if we help each other, it's going to be lower than 3 baht. We can do that. We can lower the cost of electricity, and this would be the advantage for the people. It's not just reducing the cost for the household, but it's going to be a key advantage for the industrial sector. If we have a good strategic location, we have good and strong infrastructure, and also we have good policies, we have lower industry, we have lower electricity, we have water, every sector would benefit from this change. And also, we're going to be able to attract more foreign investors. We're going to have more production bases in Thailand to produce more products and export to many countries. And it's going to bring a lot of money to the country. For the permissions to install the solar panel, where we don't have to ask for permission anymore, as I said, it's just a movie, it's just a teaser. But we're going to have a real movie here on behalf of the Ministry of Industry. We call this Act of Solar. We call it Solar Act. So we unlocked that permission to install the solar panel. That's just a teaser. However, the Solar Act, it's going to unlock every rules and laws that we have. If this act is enforced, any household, any factory, any plant, if you want to use clean energy, you want to install the solar panel, whether on the roof or you want to put it anywhere for your consumption, you don't have to ask for any permission. You can just report that you're going to install the solar panel. You don't have to talk to the ERC or EGAT or MEA or any place. You don't have to ask for permission anymore. You can just report that you're going to install the solar roof, and then you can use a clean energy. And the government and the Ministry of Energy and Ministry of Industry, we're going to have a package to help support you. We're going to set some budget. We're going to design the products for each household and each plant, each factory, for easy and convenient solar panel installation. So let's say if we want to use clean energy, however, the clean energy that we have to buy from EGAT, it makes the electricity bill higher, right? Because the clean energy is from the sun, we need to have the storage. However, technology these days, we talk about technological disruption, we talk about the industry only, but the production of energy has been disrupted as well. But it's going to give a positive impact and benefit to us. It's going to lower the cost of electricity generation. Let's say if EGAT is buying electricity from somewhere, it's through the transmission line, the MEA, PEA is going to have some benefit or profit from that, right? You can see before we get to use the electricity, we have to pay to each places through the transmission lines. And also we're going to talk about the transmission loss. It has to be included. We need to calculate the storage. However, with the technology that we have, we can lower the cost of the electricity generation. Let's say the cost is 2 baht, and for us is 4 baht. However, in the future, if you can generate your own electricity, you don't have to calculate the transmission loss. You don't have to pay to EGAT or PEA, MEA. You don't have to pay for the storage. However, you generate your own electricity. It's going to be clean energy, and the cost is going to be low. And the government, we can unlock any kind of challenges. We can address this. And if you don't have that money to install the solar panel, we might have some budget for you to install the solar roof. It might be cheaper than the cost you pay at the moment. So this is going to lower the cost for the whole country and whole sector. And it's going to be upon the responsibility of each household or plant or factory. You don't have to pay for us to store the electricity. You can store it yourself. And we can focus on the development of the battery storage innovation. And also we might focus on the smart grid only. And the cost of electricity would be lower. The government has announced already from 4 baht, it might be 3 baht. And I believe that if we work together, it's going to be 2 baht only for the cost of electricity. And this is going to give a lot of advantage to the industry sector. So recently I just had a meeting with the Department of the Water Resources. I was the chairman of that meeting, and I got to talk to a lot of departments and sectors. We talk a lot about synergy, collaboration, whether it's Natural Resources Ministry or the Ministry of Industry. Everyone would have to work together, all the stakeholders. I would have to say that the Ministry of Industry from EEC, I get a lot of complaints. We try to pull in the data center, semiconductor. However, we have to use a lot of water. It's going to increase the water consumption. However, we can see there are a lot of flooding news in Thailand. However, the water management is still scarce. It's not enough for agriculture, it's not enough for households, and it's not enough for industry. Some places we have water, but we don't have the pipelines. And some places have pipelines but don't have enough water. So we have to change this. We have to address all the problems. And if we can do that, if we can improve the water management system, we can pull in a lot of foreign investment. And also the industrial sector would grow even more. It would be the key engine, the key driver of the country's economy. This is the overall. This is a big picture of the industrial reform. We talk about the infrastructure development. However, for each sector, each industrial sector, we have to change. We have to adapt as well. For example, the automotive industry. So I just have I just talked to many Japanese automation production, changing from combustion, and we can see that the EV from China is more competitive. So these Japanese car producer will have to change themselves. A lot of people see that after the EV disruption, it might impact the automotive industry of Thailand. I would say that the impact is real. However, if we can change, if we can adapt, it's not going to be negative impact. It's going to be a positive one, because what's happening today after China's is more competitive, I can talk to Japanese people more easily. I talked to Toyota. Toyota talked to me at the Ministry of Industry, and also I flew to Japan. I talked to 7 car producers. I talked to the ministries in Japan, 2 ministries, and also Mr. Toyota, the chairman of Toyota, visited me. And also when he traveled to Thailand, I invited him to the event, and also I gave him the awards. So amongst the challenges and also the high competition, we have to fight together. And he wants Toyota to have a position in Thailand, to have the advantage over China. And if they change their policies, I told them that we would help them. They talked to ex-Prime Minister from 53 to 55 billion baht. Whether it's the currency exchange, I asked for more budget. I would say it would be 100 billion. And he said yes. They will send the Toyota team to Thailand, and we would have another conversation. And also after Toyota talked to me, other car producers would like to approach as well. So there's like one car producer who planned to close their plants, the production base in Thailand, but they changed their mind. They're not going to close that anymore. And some who have closed their production sites, they changed their mind and they're going to increase more. And apart from doing only combustion engine, they're going to do more EV parts. So the industry, the Ministry of Industry would help them produce more hybrid and e-parts from the Thai producers. We're going to guarantee that Thai producers would benefit from this increase in the production base from overseas as well. We would like to make Thailand as a production hub for automotive parts, and they're going to be the testing, whether we did a lot of investment with ATRIC, and we're going to make use of that. The good news is not only the combustion that's going to attract and increase and upgrade the line production. However, we're going to upgrade our market and make it more regional and international levels. So recently, there's a good news. EV car producers in China who would like to have a plant in Thailand, whether it's BYD, we're going to be having JC Ion, Chang'an. And the other day, MG, they're not doing EV yet. However, they are selling EV and they're trying to look at the locations. Would they want to have the production site here in Thailand as a EV or combustion or hybrid? And also, I would say that the Chinese producer, they say that they did want to produce cars and to sell only to Thai people. They would like to produce cars in Thailand and export them overseas. This is such good news, everyone. Because if we only sell the EV cars to Thailand, I would have to say that the number of the population, I would say only 60, 70 million people. If you stick to the old ratio, like you have to sell the car in Thailand, like we sell one car to Thai person and then export one car, or 100 cars in Thailand and then export 100 cars. If we don't stick to that traditional ratio anymore, if we produce and sell it to one car to Thai people, however, we triple that number and export that, the automotive industry would grow. It's going to be more hybrid, and also the EV sector would be more attractive to investors. We're going to be using the supply chain. We're going to make use of the strategic locations, and if we can address the problems, whether it's the energy consumption or the tax reduction, the permission challenges and everything, if we can change these kind of issues, our industry, our automotive industry would grow. I would say that the three key sectors, whether it's automotive industry, high-tech, or semiconductor, electronics, and also food and bio, I would have to say these are the three key factors, the three key sectors as well. We have a board, a committee on the semiconductor, and also for water management, we have the committee on that. We have clean energy for electricity for the each part's production, and also the skill development. So we hear a lot of problems that we don't have enough people, our people are not ready. However, now we work together not only with the BOIEC, but we work together with every sector, and this is our new mission. We have to develop the skills of the people to satisfy the needs and the change of the industrial reform. So in the 5 years, we're going to be having more engineers and more skills with the potential to grow with the semiconductor. I would have to guarantee over 80,000 people, 80,000 engineers. We're going to grow together. And for the food and bio industry, I said this a lot. For the first two, whether it's automotive industry or electronics semiconductor, we try to push the industry to grow. We try to invest the investors, but we have to think about localization as well. We have to see that if there are key players they can support, how can they support the small businesses? And also there are going to be some conditions. We have to have some negotiations and conversations with the big players to help support the small players. However, for food industry, food bio industry, it's going to be 100% localized, because we're going to increase the value for the agricultural products that is produced by Thai people in Thailand. I've thought about this. I've revised all the system, whether it's the sugar production. You see the news about PM 2.5 after the burning of the sugarcane. It's not the main issue that we have to address. However, we have to find a way to cope with that, and we have to think about bioplastic production. How can we have more biofuels to guarantee more sustainable economy, and also the electricity generation from waste to energy, or sugarcane waste into electricity, and we're going to have another rules gonna be more laws to help with the energy production. And also we talk about the measures, security, whether it's the medical sector. And also we have to protect the upstream business, whether it's the steel or petrochemical, plastic industry. All of these sectors would have to be protected. That's why I'm really serious about this. I try to cope with the illegal smuggling of these materials in Thailand. We have the patrols. We try to catch the smuggling illegally every day. And also we confiscate the illegal products of high value. And this is breaking the record of Thailand that confiscate illegal smuggling. If I say more, I might make this event run out of time. However, I would have to join the parliament to vote on the bill after this event. However, I would like to inspire everyone, and I would like to deliver a strong opening remark for our event today. I said previously that I would like to push the automotive industry, and it's going to be the key driver. Without using more budget from the government, we have to be able to contribute to the increase of GDP by 1%. No less than 1%. We can change the infrastructure. It's going to be cleaner. It's going to be more transparent. And we're going to be transforming Thai industry towards a new economy era. We're going to lower the cost of the energy. And also we're going to increase the value in the supply chain. It's going to have to be more comprehensive, whether it's the automotive industry or electronic semiconductor or the food bio industry. We're going to protect the upstream industries and businesses and SMEs in Thailand. We have to prevent illegal smuggling or prevent the dumping of the products in Thailand. But what's more importantly is the growth of the industry sector. We have to grow sustainably, and we have to be accountable. We have to be responsible, and it's not going to have the negative impact on the lives of the people. Tomorrow, so I would say the first day, I serve as the Minister of Industry. I visited the statue that reminded me that if the industry is not responsible, it's going to have a negative impact on the people's lives. So tomorrow I'm going to visit that statue again, and we're going to use some money from the bank, and we're going to set some budget. We have to have the budgets yearly to address the problems for the country. But what's really important today, if the industrial sector would like to grow sustainably, we have to change the mindset, the system. We have to change the core values. So I would like to ask everyone to work together. We have attracted more investors already, but it's up to us to think about the small businesses, Thai SMEs, and also we have to be accountable and be responsible for the lives of the people. When we do business, we shouldn't harm anyone. We shouldn't pose any negative impacts on the people. So tomorrow we're going to have a discussion on the bills about the electronic waste. So the first day I served as a Minister of Industry. I have the committee to change the industry. And the first bill, and that is about waste, in electronics waste. Tomorrow, it's going to be a meeting. I would have to say it's a electronics waste day. We're going to enforce that law. And then I would visit wind process in the afternoon, and we're trying to guarantee efficient waste management. And all of my team, all the committee, the patrols, would try to get rid of electronic waste and to avoid the illegal smuggling of things. They don't have day off, even the New Year holidays. We have to open the market for the good businesses and get rid of all the gray businesses. Because this illegal business is going to harm a lot of businesses. This kind of challenge, it's on me. Anything that I have to fight against, I would help you. I would be the hero. I would help you. I have a lot of strict measures and preventions. I say no negotiation to all the villains here. If you don't change for the better, you have to shut down the factory. I have the power. I have the authority. You cannot file any petition. I'm not going to give any yellow card. I only give red card to the people who do illegally. And we can stop the black and the gray businesses. We would be able to do that. So these are the missions. It's not a one-man show. I cannot do it alone. I'm so happy working, and I have hope that our country, we can change and grow. And this is the right time. It's a critical moment amongst the changes, and a lot of people only see challenges and problems. I tell everyone that I never see these problems as a problem. I see that this is a really big opportunity, but we have to act fast. We have to do comprehensively. This is an opportunity would be with us, I would say, in the next 2 years. If we put a lot of efforts, we sacrifice the blood, sweat, and tears, and we are bold enough to change ourselves, to do the reform from today, and to make it successful, the benefits would be with the country for many years to come. And we get to work together. We get to change the history of Thailand, change the industry together. We can help transform Thai industry towards a new economy era. And this sector would be the hero contributing to the GDP growth. And we're responsible, and also we're accountable. We're not harming any lives of the people. And this is going to be the competitive advantage for the economy of Thailand. And there are many issues that we would touch upon in the panel discussion today. In its sector, whether it's technology, sustainability, or environment, we're going to talk about that into details. So I have taken my opportunity to give an opening remark and to inspire everyone, and also to inspire the conversations later. And I would like to learn from all of you and to get your ideas and experiences to change the development plans later. Thank you very much for being here today, and I truly hope that today's event would be a success, because your success would be the success of the industry ministry and also the success of Thailand. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ekanath Prompan, the Minister of Industry. Please remain on stage for the official opening ceremony. So today the Minister of Industry has given the opening remark, and we can see that Thailand, the industry is in the recovery phase. If we want to change the economy, we have to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. And there are problems or challenges, the limitations, the public debt, household debt, and also many challenges. If we see these challenges as opportunities, it's a time for us to do the industrial reform. If we act swiftly, if we act strong, this is our opportunity to transform the industry towards a new economy era. On the next occasion, I would like to invite onto the stage Dr. Nattapon Rangsit-Phun, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry, and also Mr. Pasakon Chairat, Director of Office of Industrial Economics, onto the stage. If everyone's ready, we're gonna count down together to do the official opening ceremony of today's event. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the official opening ceremony of OIE Forum, the 16th Forum Industrial Reform, transforming Thai industry towards the new economy. And on the next occasion is the photo opportunity. May invite members of the press to capture this moments. We're gonna have 3 shots. The first shot with the Minister of Industry, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry, and also Director of OIE. You can see that the participants of today's event come from various sectors, whether industrial sectors, and also from the public who have registered to join our event, and also the university students who join us today. For the second shot, I would like to invite onto the stage Kun Pailin Tiansuwan, the advisor of the Ministry of Industry. Kun Ponpong Yotmungzarun, Secretary General, Ministry of Industry. Mr. Kriyankai Tianukun, Chairman of FTI, Federation of Thai Industries. And also Kun Sangchai Thirakunwanit, President of Thai SME Confederation. OIE, Office of Industrial Economies under the Ministry of Industry, truly hope that OIE 16th Forum Industrial Reform, transforming Thai industry towards a new economy, would show the commitment of the Ministry of Industry to move our country forward. Please remain on stage. And the next shot, I would like to invite onto the stage Kun Nattiya Netayasupha, Director General of Industrial Development. Kun Bainoi Suwanachatri, Secretary General of Committee of Sugar, Brown Sugar. Kun Adipat Wasinun, Director General of Ore. Kun Virit Wisetsi, Vice Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Industry. Supakit Punsiri, Vice Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry. Kun Vanchai Panomchai, Director General. Kun Desha Jatu Khananan, Thank you everyone for joining us today at the OIE Forum, the 16th Annual Forum. We're going to reform the industrial sector together. We're going to fight, we're going to save, we're going to build our economy, transforming Thai industry towards the new economy, and we're going to support the small entrepreneurs, Thai SMEs, and also the big players in the market. Thank you very much, the Minister of Industry, all the executives from the Ministry of Industry, and also the Director of the Office of Industrial Economics. I would like to invite the Minister of Industry to give the interview to the members of the press at the backdrop in front of the hall. And for the participants of today's event, OIE Forum, the 16th Annual Forum, please stay with us. Please remain in the hall. In a moment, we would have a coffee break in a moment. But before that, I would like everyone to scan the QR code on the screen. Please scan the QR code on the screen to give some feedback of our event today. Your feedback is welcome for us to get all of your input. But if you haven't done the form today, you can take a pictures of this QR code and do the form later. After you have done the evaluation form, you can show it to the registration table and then you will get the souvenirs from us. Today we have prepared the token of appreciation, the souvenirs for everyone. However, we would like to kindly ask for your cooperation to fill in this evaluation form before. After the coffee break, a 15-minute coffee break, after that we would reconvene and there will be a discussion, the panel discussion, the industrial reform transforming Thai industry towards the new economy. We are honored to have with us Mr. Gringai Tianukun, Chairman of FTI, and also the President of Thai SME Confederation, Kun Sangchai Tianukun Wanit, and also the Director of OIE, Office of Industrial Economics, Mr. Pasakon Chairat, who will be joining us in the panel discussion, addressing the challenges in Thailand in the industrial sector. And as the Minister Industry have mentioned earlier, the automotive industry, especially EV, is something that is really important because for automotive industry alone, the supply chain cover many sectors, and also the overflux of Chinese production parts. Thai SMEs would have to adapt to the changes and the disruption in that matter. We will talk into details about those issues in the panel discussion. Thank you everyone for your kind cooperation to fill in the evaluation form. We have a 15-minute break and we would reconvene at this hall. Thank you very much.
ดีอีกครั้งนะคะเราเข้าสู่ช่วงที่ 2 ของงานในวันนี้นะคะ OIE Forum ครั้ง
the
ที่
16th annual forum by the Office of Industrial Economics. As I mentioned earlier, for today's event, the highlight of our event today, where we'll be discovering the answers in the industrial sector. And the highlight is in this session for the panel discussion under the title, The Directions of Industrial Reform in a Modern Era. We can see the keyword here, modern era, or the new economy. So a lot of you might be wondering, what is it like? What is the new economy like? And what do we have to do? How do we move forward in this new era? What aspects, what dimensions do we have to adjust or change ourselves? So looking from the news in 2024, 2023, a lot of people might be familiar with this word. This is a keyword we have heard a lot about. A lot of people say that next year. A lot of people say in the news that next year it's going to be real. But we say that every year, almost every year, we say that next year we're going to be serious about this. We're going to be more serious about this. It's just our feeling, or is it a fact that every time when it comes to New Year, people say that we have to be more serious. It's going to be hard to live. It's going to be more difficult. A lot of people would be more concerned, more afraid. And fear causes two things. The first one, when you have fear, you fight. Or when you fear and you want to flee. What do we do? So as the Minister of Industry has said that we are going to fight by industrial reform for all of us to transform the Thai industry towards the new economy era. So for this panel discussion titled The Direction of Industrial Reform in the Modern Era, we're honored to have with us the first person, the chairman of FTI, Federation of Thai Industries, Mr. Gringai Tianukun. And the second panelist, Mr. Sangchai Thirakunwanit, President of the Thai SME Confederation. And also the Director of OIE, Mr. Pasakon Chairat. Hello everyone, once again. So this panel discussion, I said that this is the highlight of today's event. For the event organized by the Office of Industrial Economics, we would like all the participants to understand the facts and what's really happening in our industry today. That's why we have this platform for all the participants. And also, we encourage all of you to pose questions. Not a too difficult one. Feel free to ask us questions. There will be the Q&A session after the panel discussion for 15 minutes. So for the Q&A would be around 15 minutes. For those of you who are present here in this hall, you would be given already the pencil and paper. You can pass the question to our staff, and you can write the name of the panelist as well as the question you would like to ask. And for those who watch live streaming, you can ask the questions in the chat box as well. So the first person we would like to talk to is the representative from OIE, the director of the Office of Industrial Economics. I would like Mr. Pasakan to talk about the objectives and also the overall hosting of today's event first. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today, for joining the event organized by OIE. I would like to give the introduction about this office. So for us, we plan the policies and also the directions to develop the industry of Thailand, and also we're the brain of the Ministry of Industry. And for today's event, thank you very much, the chairman of the Federation of Thai Industries, even though you have a meeting. However, he chose to be with us here today, with every one of you here. And also, we have the president of the Thai SME Confederation with us in the panel discussion, and also the host, Kun Chutima. Thank you very much for coming here today as well. So I think this is a really good opportunity because this is early this year. We're going to look at the directions of the industrial reform, what's going to happen. Today we're honored to have with us the experts from the FTI who would be touching upon the businesses, the industries, and also we have the representative from SMEs Confederation. So we're going to look at the directions all together. So a brief introduction and brief welcome everyone into the panel discussion. Thank you very much. So when I got approached first to be the MC, I asked a question to the organizer. I would like to pass this well wishes, and also I passed this comment from the organizer to the OIE that this is such a really good and important event. I think it's really important that we host the event here earlier this year because it's going to give a really good feeling to all the participants, because this year a lot of people feel scared and concerned. Why are people scared? Because they watch from the news, there are a lot of shutdowns of manufactories, job layoffs, the automotive industry got disrupted, the influx of Chinese products, just some examples. So our experts here in this industry for so long. I would like to ask Mr. Green Guy first. So what is really happening these days, like in Thailand? Anything you notice that it's getting more complex? Because in the past it's not this challenging, it's not this complex, but what are the changes that you see is very significant? So thank you for the questions, Ms. Host. So every time, like at the end of the year, a lot of people say that this year is serious, but next year is going to be more serious. But for the past year, this news, we can see a lot more than every year. I think it's because this year is a year of change. There are a lot of changes waiting for us ahead, and we can see that, and a lot of people are afraid and concerned. And one of the key concerns is the President Trump policy, Trump 2.0. President Trump, in his first term, he has a campaign, Make America Great Again. So he has made America great again. And he himself is a person who announced the trade war between the United States and China. When we heard the news, so from Trump 1.0, we didn't see a lot of impact. The impact is not as tremendous. So at the time, the United States and China is the big player in the world. So I would say like the major powers in the world are having a war. When they fight, a lot of smaller countries would definitely get the impact, would feel that impact. For example, Thailand, because we do business with America and also with China, so we get impact from the trade war from both countries. We export a lot of products to China, whether it's the parts or raw materials. We do a lot of export to China. While in America, we export, it's a big country where we export as well. So it's really hard for us because we're in the middle. And President Trump, he's very clear in his goal and his style. He's a businessman and he's a president. So he would look at things from a business person's perspective. So the balance between the trade, something like that. So as you can see, in Trump 1.0, a lot of people got excited and there are a lot of changes, major changes. I have to say this to all the participants. The reality of the industrial sector, if we look back, in the case of Trump 1.0 and trade war versus Trump 2.0 and trade war, if we look back like 10 years ago, the industrial sector, there are a lot of challenges, major challenges during the transition period, especially the technological advancement, whether it's digital transformation or disruption. It's transformation and disruption. So at the time, it made the rules and laws of all the industrialists around the world confused. A lot of industrialists around the world were confused about the transition and disruption because I would have to say in the world of innovation and industry, there are changes constantly. However, the speed in the past, it's quite as expected. For example, in 10 years, there will be a major change. Let's say one major technological change in 10 years. So for the industrial sector, when they make an investment, they can see when they can get the return of the investment. They can be prepared for the next investment. So a lot of investors can make some predictions how they gonna invest when they do the it's in this framework. However, in this graph, you can see from this line graph, within the 600 years time before disruption, since the first printing press in 1400 until the invention of telescope, that's 200 years apart. After that, we have steam engine. The steam engine. And after that, 1950 to 2000, the graph is skyrocketing. And right now, it's AI. It's at the peak. I would say that this growth is exponential growth. It's a rapid change. When you buy something, the next day, the technology changes. This is what the industrial sector is facing. This is the impact on our lives, on the lives of the people, on the lives of the investors. And the industry has been disrupted in two dimensions, whether it's the production, the technology production, and also the order process or the distribution channels, and also consumer behaviors change. Their styles, their lifestyle change. For example, in the past, we have mass production and we can sell it worldwide. However, these days, it has to be mass customization. It has to be customized for each client. So I would say that in the past, we might have one machinery for mass production. It's going to lower the cost of production. However, right now, it has to be mass customization for Kun Nun, for Kun Sang Chai, for each individual. And the tools and machinery has to be changed. We can do that in the digital way, and it's possible. So I would say that this is one key thing that shake us really hard, and each industrial sector got disrupted. For example, the printing industry or entertainment, media. It's not entertaining anymore, you would see. The change is rapid. In the past, a lot of people would like to study at the communication arts. But right now, people don't do that anymore. It's not as popular as in the past. So everything has changed. what the change that is more tremendous is that there are a lot of more challenges, especially from trade war, from COVID-19 pandemic, and also from geopolitics, and also from climate change. And that is the new rule of the world. So together, everything all at once in the speed that is unprecedented. That's caused a lot of people to feel more concerned and afraid. And people feel like this is going to be even more serious, because a lot of people feel that the President Trump 2.0 is going to serve, who has served since 20th of January. It's going to be more strict, it's going to be more intense, but the heart, the core value, to make America great again, he really emphasized on this. He's going to reshore. He's going to do the reshoring in order to increase more job opportunities and to make American industry even stronger. Because we have to admit that America these days, they cannot produce much, especially during COVID-19. Even the masks, the hygiene masks, they have to buy from other countries, even though the license is in America, but the production is in China. A lot of things are produced in China these days. So right now, they want to increase the stability and security for American society. He's going to make America great again. When we travel to America, in a lot of cities where it used to be very beautiful, but right now it's, I would say, a lot of homeless people on the street, and it's quite more dangerous. And I believe that this is one of the factors that make President Trump gain popularity, and a lot of people voted for him because American people want America to be great again. Because right now they might not be as proud as they were before. You can see from China or in other countries, it's very more developed, more. However, in America, it's lacking that aspect, that rapid change. And a lot of people would imagine this. From Trump 1.0, we could see the trade war. At that time, we didn't see if we're going to win or lose, if we're going to gain or lose. However, we did a lot of gain. We had a lot of gain because at that time, we can still do business with America in the rank 14. We gain more than $20 billion from America. However, after Trump won, there's trade war. And in the President Biden time, from rank 14, we became rank 12. And also 2 years ago, there's some updates. We could still perform well. From rank 12, it's now rank 9. That means that after President Trump, we are going to have to focus on doing business with America. Because at the time, when we gain the balance of trade with America, a lot of people wonder, maybe there might be some matters in terms of currency exchange. That's why we gain the balance of trade with America. So they have the currency manipulation for the more strengthen of the baht. You can see that the rank is higher quite fast, and a lot of people predict that the countries that would get a lot of impact from Trump 2.0, Thailand is one of the two countries that would get impact. The first one is Mexico. The second country is Thailand, that would really get tremendous impact from the change into Trump 2.0. So for in the past, the percentage or proportion of the exports to America is 20%. And we try to predict what's going to happen in the future. For example, in Mexico, 85% of the export is to America. So after the change of the policy, this would pose a great impact on Mexico. And also with the technological change, we have to act swiftly. We have to adapt ourselves fast. In Thailand, we're the Detroit of Asia in the past. However, right now, we're not that Detroit of Asia anymore. How can we balance that amongst the change? And also, there are going to be new clean energies that is going to disrupt EV, for example, hydrogen car or even autonomous vehicle. It's going to disrupt not just car, it's going to disrupt all the environment. Everyone in the ecosystem, for example, the drivers will lose their job, or the gas station where we park and we would buy some coffee, the coffee shop would be affected as well, or the convenience stores would be affected because people don't go to gas station anymore. And also for the housing, for the everything would be affected. The change in the automotive industry would have a lot of impact on every sectors. So in the past, we have Grab, but right now we have delivery drone to capture pictures, and also we're going to have passenger drone. And in the future, the technological change of the drone is unmanned aerial vehicle, or UAV. And we're going to see that in our era, in our time. Everything would happen so fast. The industry would have to be prepared. We have to be ready. How can we make the industry that might be considered obsolete today, and also the population that we have at the moment might not be prepared for the change of the industry? We have to prepare for the next gen industry. And how can we do that? I think it's time to ask other people first. I can feel that you want to pause me a little bit before I share all the answers. So let's ask other panelists as well. Because here at the FTI, we see this problem for a long time. And the first time I served as the chairman of FTI, we prepared a plan to do the industrial reform for Thailand in order to prepare for the change in the future. Since 2022, so I'm going to answer for the next questions. Wow, that's very clear. I have a lot of questions for you. So speaking on behalf of the FTI, this is your observations, whether it's technological change, the policies from America, who is the major power in the world. We're going to talk about this from the SMEs aspect. So what is something that you give importance to these days when you look from the perspective of Thai SME? Okay, let me put on the slides. I would say that if we talk about the competition, for SMEs, what is really important is we can see the direction of America. As Mr. Gringai mentioned earlier, the change of the policies, and also we can see the trade war between two major powers, whether it's the United States and China. And also if we include India, who has the ambition made in India, a nation of beggar in America, and China made in China. If we calculate the population of the three countries, their population accounted for 40% of the world's population, and they are the big markets, and there's the countries that we export to a lot. So we have to say that the competition, actually a World Economic Forum talk about these 5 things, and it's really happening. From the geopolitical war, we need to have measures to ensure and guarantee cooperation, and also to reduce the risk from the war. So we have to try to build trust and cooperation and security for countries. And also the second matter, and that is economic growth and trade. You can see that the policies of President Trump from 1.0, he focused on he did a lot of IEEA. I would say that he made an announcement about IEEA a lot more than previous presidents of America during Trump 1.0. And that is the measures how he respond to the trade war. So you can see what's happening in the past is going to recur again in the future. However, the context might change. because there's the climate change, global boiling. That's the key factor, and also the energy sector would play a big part. There might be the zone for the announcement of the rules and laws. Even though America feel that they're not ready, however, the context might put a lot of pressure on them that they have to change the rules and laws. And the third one is about AI. We talk about digital economy and AI. It's something that Thailand still have weakness. SMEs, Thai SMEs, would have to focus on this a lot, because for the big players, they have done this already, automations, the digital or smart system. However, for AI, we can see that for Thai SMEs, the small businesses, around 57% is not ready. They're not ready for the AI change. And also for Thai SME, for the individual, they have to use a digital application. I would say that it's around 1.0, 1.5, a lot of them in this phase. However, for the tourism sector, we're in the 2.0 already. So this is the big concern for Thailand. And the last thing is people and the skill development. I think human development is something that is really important. We have to increase the potential, and this is going to put our countries in a position where we have more competitive advantage. So you can see that the innovation phase, as Mr. Kurungai mentioned earlier, he read my mind. You can see that the change is exponential. The growth is exponential as well. And SMEs, entrepreneurs, will have to be more adaptive and also resilient and more ready to the changes. And we talk about the plans, the development plan. We have to build SMEs to have a stronger potentials and more competitive advantage. That is a key pillar as well. And this is in line with the 9th pillar here. We have to prevent the transgeneration of poverty, and also we have to protect the society. And also we have to increase the potential of the people, and that is the 12th pillar here. We're not only developing the infrastructure, we have to develop the skill of the people as well. And the infrastructure would be enhancing the potential of the people, right? So we have to focus on the people. And the 13th pillar is we have to have a more modern and more up-to-date government. Right now, the government would like to put illegal issues, would like to make them more illegal, more legal. We have to turn the gray business into white businesses. And there are a lot of businesses that is not in the system. We're in the 13th, we're the 15th of the rank of the world. As the Minister of Industry has mentioned earlier, that we have to work together. Something that is outside of the system, how can we attract the business people who are outside the system? How can we attract them and turn them into the system? So this is something that we have to do. We can see the rapid change in the world. CCPI, Climate Change Performance Index from 2024. Thailand is ranked 25th in the world. I think we're in the average position, but there are two things that are agent. The first one is climate policy. We're only ranked 38th. And also the renewable energy consumption, we're in the 49th rank. But today we're so happy to hear from the Minister of Industry. He talked about the Solar Act. And that's such good news, and all the SMEs and people really happy to hear. And we can see that this is a really good sign. It's a good direction that we're moving forward towards the future. And we're not focusing on Thailand only. Indonesia, for example. If you look at the ranking of the ASEAN competitiveness, Indonesia from 44th to 34th from 2022 to 2023. One thing that Indonesia has done is the skill development of the high-skilled people, or they call Gratu Prakerja. It's like future skills for Singapore, where the government set the budget for the private sector to increase the potential and the future skills for the people. They try to transform their countries. This is something that we can see. This is a really good example. Indonesia is a country that we have to be scared of because they are seriously building up the potential of their people. This is why SME is really important, not only for Thailand, but SME is really important for the world economy. Because in every country around the world, a lot of people in the SME sector, I would say over 60-70% is SMEs. And also this has job opportunities. I would say that 71% people are hired in the SME sector in every industry, whether it's the products or services. For SMEs, you can see the production sector is around 16%. SME entrepreneurs only around 16%. But if you look at the GDP from this diagram, you can see the problem. There's a distribution of wealth and GDP. There's still a problem because wealth is only in the 3%. You can see the red part here. So the small business owners, around 85% of the country, however, contributed to only 3% of the GDP. For the micro enterprises, for small enterprises, it's 14%, medium enterprises 18%, and large enterprise 65%. So we have to help the small enterprises grow together. And if you look at each country, the GDP growth, Thailand is still ranked behind Malaysia. We're not going to talk about America or Singapore or China or Japan. We're ranked far behind them. However, for export sector, SMEs, the government sector feel that we have to speed and to accelerate the build of SMEs. Right now, we have this number. How can we help direct exporter have more potential and stronger? How can we make the small enterprises able to adapt as much as the large enterprises? For example, the Thailand agriculture products export and import, this is the number. So China is our big partner, and also we have America as well. So we have to do trade with both of the countries. We cannot leave anyone behind. We have to do business with both countries. It's something that we have to come up with the plans and policies. It's how we're going to work. And what is really important right now for China, they have this development planned in the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, the Greater Bay Area, or GBA. And they said that each area, each province, which sector they were going to focus on, or something like that. They have this plan for a long time. And also for the hydrogen production, they have a very clear policies and they have clear strategy. They have EV production, right? However, they have been planning on the hydrogen car for a long time already. So right now, the hydrogen station has been implemented in some provinces and they have been tested for some time. So SMEs in China is not only something they talk about, but they use the little giant policy. So for each province, they need to have IDE, and then they're gonna screen the SMEs that have the potential that's going to become little giants, around 10,000 for each province. You can see the economy in China, and this is the number of the trade balance with America and with China. How can we maintain good relationship with these countries? So for our agency, I would say that we are the brain of the Ministry of Industry. I think that OIE, the director of OIE, he has that vision and he has a direction to support local economy in order for us to rely less on the import and rely more on the local production. You can see the number of SMEs, export and imports, compared between big players and small players. How can we reach the balance? I think this is what we're going to work together. This is the situation right now. If we don't change ourselves, the big fish would eat us, the fish from overseas, international fish, I would say. And also we have to address the problems or issues you can see from the news, the illegal smuggling of raw materials, or the influx of Chinese products that is going to impact the local business, or even the logistics or e-commerce. Everything would be impacted. We need to have the measures to prevent all the investors that would not take advantage of the country too much. And you can see the China's 5-year plan. This is the 14th 5-year plan. They have the decarbonization policy, and they're going to use less fossil or non-fossil energy, and they promote EV. It's what they're doing. They walk the talk, and they could do it. This is what we would like to see in the country, in our country as well. This is just some measures that we can take. For example, in China, they have green bond. And even though it's clean fossils, they see it as a pollution. While in EU, they have the Green Action Plan for SMEs. And also they have the Green Day. In the UK or in South Korea, they have plans as well. They have ESG for SMEs. In South Korea, they feel that for ESG, they need to have a plan to help SMEs reach ESG principles, and the government will have to support seriously. In America, they have the plan as well. And for Thailand, I think we're on the right path. So from the perspective of the FTI or Thai SME Confederation, you share similar opinions and you can see similar problems. However, one of the people who are the big player to present the plan, to design the development plan, is the Office of Industrial Economics. The director of OIE has reflected upon this. What is some of the observations? What is something that we have to do? What have we done? What we will do in the future to address these problems? Thank you for the information. Thank you for sharing. It's quite very beneficial, sharing from FTI and from Thai SME Confederation. We see both opportunities and challenges. I would say that these days there are more challenges that pose a great impact on the lives of the people and also on the industrial sector in Thailand. Whether it's technological disruption, I can see very clearly. It's not only digital disruption, or it's about EV production, the change in the geopolitics, and also the conflicts in each region. I think there are more challenges, or even the war, Russia and Ukraine, send the gas to Europe. I think that is one of the factors, or one of the challenges that would pose a great impact on our region, and it's going to affect the cost of energy. And also for the social infrastructure, I think this is really important as well. In Thailand, we're entering the aging society. So the labor, the skills sector would be affected. And so for climate change, apart from the natural disasters, apart from the flooding, apart from the natural disasters that we're facing, it's going to have an impact on the index. Everything is considered a challenge in the new era of the economy, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic hit. We're still in the recovery phase, and we still feel that impact. And I would say that there would be more challenges in the future, especially after President Trump 2.0. It's going to be more intense than 1.0. So he's serving as second terms. He learned from the first term what he could not succeed in the first time. I think he's going to get it done in the second term. So this is a challenge that we will face definitely. And the Ministry of Industry, we want all of you to see it as an opportunity. Everything can be an opportunity. So we talk about the situation in the industrial sector already. For the Office of Industrial Economists, we have the duty to report on the index of the production in the industrial sector. I would have to admit that we're not having good news. It's quite bad news. We talked about the MPI. It's minus 1.7% compared to last year. I would say that by the end of the year, it might be minus 1.8%. Some of the key pressing factors is the automotive industry and also the food processing industry and also the electricity EV industry. There are more options these days, whether it's EV, we have the policies, we have more options and alternatives, and the industry is being disrupted. You can see from the participants and also the bookings in the motor show. Actually, the numbers of the bookings not quite different from last year. It's around 50,000 cars got booked from the motor show event, and the proportion of the EV cars is quite similar, and we still import EV cars. And the government, the Thai government at the moment, would like Thailand to be the hub of EV production. So we're going to start around by the end of the year, and we're going to expand further in 2026, 2027. We might increase the value of the EV production, and also we would export more overseas. And for other factors, we would have more conversations with sectors, and whether it's a business companies or the car businesses or car producers overseas, we're going to talk to them and we're going to listen to their concerns, and we would change our policies. We're going to listen from bottom up. We're going to talk to a lot of private sectors, and we're going to change the system and also the infrastructure. For the automation, we're going to balance the alternative energies, whether it's EV or other alternative energies. We're going to have more hybrid policies. We talk to a lot of European, Japanese car producers, and they're willing to fight with us as well. And also we're going to unlock some limitations, whether it's Euro 6. We're going to implement soon. It might be delayed. We're still considering that. Or eco car, we might expand further on that. So I would say that the automotive industry is quite in a position that we can be worried about. Not only about the competitors, but about the other thing as well, whether it's NPL, 90% of GDP, the bank, the loans from banks get harder to get. It's harder for people to get loans from the bank. So these are the pressing factors that's happening to the industry index. And the second factor is the economy that is quite slow. It's quite tight, and a lot of people have more higher spendings and expenditures. And lastly, the pressing factor is the imports. The imports and the cost is lower, it's cheaper than the local products. For example, the electronic devices, whether it's the fan, it's the microwave. I would say that this is one of the key pressing factors that is happening in our country. However, in 2025, we're going to have more plans to be ready for that. We're going to change the directions of the export, especially export to the U.S. I would say that for export, the number is quite good because in America, they're very concerned about the trade war. So they order a lot more from Thailand to America. They order more because they're afraid of the trade war consequences. So I would say that the direction of the exports to America for Thailand is looking good. However, the balance is good as well. We have to balance the relationships between Thailand and the U.S. and Thailand and China, and also for the digital wallet policy for the government. And we have to help the underprivileged. I would say that we would get a lot of benefits, and this can help increase the GDP of the industrial sector. I would say around 1% increase. And for the tourism sector, it's quite improving. The number this year is quite similar to pre-COVID level or similar level, and we predict that next year more tourists would be coming to Thailand, so this is just some positive impact. However, in the year to come, with the uncertain policies of President Trump 2.0, we have to closely monitor the change of the policies. And also the tension in our region is quite important as well to take into consideration, especially at geopolitics. There might not be some good signs at this time, and this would be the new pressing factors in 2025. And also the cost of living, the government will have to address this problem. They would have to add more money to each system to improve the infrastructure, or the government will have to support and invest more to help the people. And also for the climate change, in other countries, they're going to have rules and regulations, and it's going to be stricter measures, whether it's CBAM, or it's going to affect supply chain. And I would say that for the supply chain, SMEs would be affected as well, not only big players in the market. And we have to be prepared and be ready for the change, and especially EU deforestation measure. I think it's one of the factors that would affect us. For example, the industry, the forestry, we have to change everything. We have to adapt to the changes. So they're both negative and positive factors. We gotta be more serious. We have to walk the talk, and we need to have hope, and we have to be confident that we can overcome all those obstacles. And we have to believe in the Ministry of Industry as well, that the minister would help boost the industrial sector. And I'm gonna answer for the second question. But as the president of Thai SME Confederations mentioned earlier, Thai people would rely more on Thai SMEs to drive the country's economy. Can I ask you one more question? You talk about the EV, and a lot of people look at the direction for this year because it's quite concerning. Because the automotive industry would have an impact on other sectors. So the problem for EV, what is the real problem? Because a lot of people say that when you get a car from showroom in the past, let's say combustion engine, the price will be down, decrease rapidly. However, for the EV car, after you bought it and got it from the showroom, the price is even more lower, even faster than in the past. And also we have a problem. The Thai dealers in Thailand compared to the Chinese dealers. Sometimes when people buy a car for 500,000, but then the next day they can sell it for only 250,000 baht. So they don't want to do that anymore. So the numbers that I mentioned, this is a question. What is happening? Why is the number dumped down like this? What's the key reason? I would have to say that's the Chinese business culture. There are a lot of Chinese cars in Thailand right now. Chinese dealers are the big competitors of Thai dealers. So in the future, we have to maintain the balance. We have to do that. And it's their culture, the way of doing business. This is how Chinese people do business. So we have to fight, and we have to address that issues. Okay, let's talk about pickup truck for commercial use. The bank don't give loans because of the higher NPL. So it's not easy to get loans from bank. And for a lot of people, when they buy EV car, they feel that the faster they buy, the more money they can save. Let's say for a BYD, 1.3 million baht, but at the motor show we can see is less than 1 million baht. So a lot of people say that, okay, the faster you buy, the more money you save, so doesn't matter. So how can we keep up with the change? How can we enter the new era? How can we change our industry, our economy? So, okay, let's talk about automotive industry first. Why is it having an impact on that? For example, a battery. The cost of the battery is around 40 or 50% of the car cost, the total cost of the car. We have the Chinese producers, Japanese producers. The government have to balance out this. And for the Chinese producer, we have a problem with them. So the government set this local content number. However, for China, the local content is the Chinese company in Thailand. So I would say that it's quite similar to the problem with the tourism sector. The whole chain is Chinese operators. So how can we fix that? They are the Chinese people operating in Thailand, but they consider that local content as well. So the number of EV car from the Chinese operator, how can we gonna address that? We need to change the diversification plan. Right now, the permanent secretary, we talked to the Ministry of Transportation. We have to change the railway, the bogie system. We have to make it more developed. We have to upskill the labor and the potential of Thai people. In the near future, we're going to have the MOU. We have to do more local production to substitute the high number of import. And also, if we talk about the industry that has high value added, I would say it's from the agricultural sector. It's something that OIE focuses on, whether it's a bio or food industry, or even the agricultural machinery or fertilizer. If we look at the whole loop, we have to push this forward. We have to increase the potential for in agricultural sector, because it's a sector that we can create more value. It's going to be more value-added products. Right now we have Kubota, but for the machinery, whether it's a small machinery, right now you understand that we're in the aging society era. We need to have more smart farm machinery. It's something that we try to look at and we try to develop. Or even medical devices. I think it might be a little bit difficult. We might, a lot of people have pets these days. They have cats and dogs at home, and maybe we can come up with some pet devices for older people to raise their pets easily at home. And also we're gonna focus on the NCD devices or medical devices. We try to push that. We try to encourage more local production of these devices. And especially home use devices for old people. We try to diversify the production more. And also, we talk about this since last year. We have to push this forward. For OIE, we focus on the budget to collaborate with many sectors. We try to have the schemes to guarantee the security of our nation. And also we have to focus on the local production more than import. We'll still focus on the local parts production. And at the same time, we have to keep up with the change. We have to change our industry. We see opportunities. Let's say, even though we're entering the aging society, but we see opportunities in that, and we try to adjust the policy accordingly. Okay, the next question from Mr. Gringai, the chairman of FTI. How can we change ourselves to keep up with the change of the world? Another question that I would like to ask you. The policies of President Trump. When he announced the trade policies, how is it benefiting America? If we look from the first surface level, superficially, when they produce in the country, it's going to be high, and this is going to make their people buy products that are higher in the price. I would say, yeah, I agree with you. If America want to focus on the local production in the country, and they can produce everything by themselves, and American people use it and buy it, it's going to be more expensive. It's quite contradictory because the people of America would gain both benefits and also they get a lot of drawbacks. So a lot of people see this weakness of Trump. Let's say in the past, the abortion policy, and Donald Trump did not agree that the women have the right to do the abortion. However, if the infant is handicapped or the mother has been raped, then they might be allowed to do abortion. But this kind of perspective, this kind of policies make female voters not happy with that. However, we can see the change that a lot of people like Trump and voted for Trump's. For example, inflation, because in the time of President Biden, everything is very expensive. And inflation is really important. And another thing is immigration. A lot of immigrants in Thailand, in America. So back to the question, if America have reshoring in America, Mr. Trump feel like he wants to guarantee more local production, local jobs, and he's going to reduce the tax from 21% to 15%. If Kamala Harris serve, from 21%, it would be 28% for the tax. So in order to offset that policy, the reshoring policy, you can see that the high-tech industry, whether it's ships or semiconductors, they try to bring back the investments on these matters back to America. Because right now, a lot of things they get is quite cheap because it's produced in China. And how can they address the inflation problem in America? So in the time of President Biden, they have friendshoring, moving outside of China, move the production base to other countries that are partners with America, for example, in Thailand, or nearshoring near America, for example, Mexico or Canada. But right now, Trump wants to do reshoring, want to focus on reshoring only, and would like to guarantee the benefits for people in America. And that's going to lead to inflation, higher inflation rate of America. And it's going to affect the higher price of the products and everything. So we have to closely monitor the situation in America if they can do that. And in a short term, I would say there would be the shocking face. A lot of people would be super concerned that in 2025, after the policy has been announced, before everything is stable and secure, there are a lot of policies that are quite self-contradictory. Let's say Trump would like to encourage more fossil fuels, fracking, oil, gas, or shale oil, and that caused a lot of pollution, which has ceased in President Biden time. However, it's back now in America because they want to guarantee the lower cost of oil. However, could Mr. Elon Musk, who's the father of clean energy and who's really care about the world, I'm sure that they're going to fight a lot. So we have to closely monitor the situation, but we can see the signs. And the world is moving toward net zero according to the roadmap. And a lot of people are very confused right now. What's going to happen if Trump is encouraging or going to bring back the oil and gas or fossil fuels? But this is contradicting with the carbon neutrality principle. So we just have to stay alert, and we have to look at the situation closely and be ready for the change. So let's say we look at all the numbers. As the director of OIE has mentioned earlier, you can see the production index is lower. I would say the use of machinery is less than 60%, and that is quite low. And it's quite worrying for some industry. I give a lot of interviews about this. For example, the steel industry. Throughout the year, it's around 30%. And that is in a crisis situation. Last year, you see that sign as well in the ICE car. ICE. What is the consequences? It's because of the economic situation or financial institutions not giving loans to people, and also the higher number of EV cars from China getting a big portion of the market. So this has a big impact on the country. So the production number is quite lower. You can see in 2024, around almost 200 billion cars, it's lower. Now it's only 1.5 million cars. You can see significant reduction of the number of cars produced. So the market share in many industries, if the market share is lower than like 1%, it's a big problem. But right now, in today's world, the market share is lower by 20%. So that's even a bigger of a problem. So this year, we feel that this industry is quite new. And the government is trying to balance. And we try to make Thailand a last man standing. We try to make Thailand survive. Because this industry is accounted for 10% of the export. And for the job opportunities, it's around 700,000 people. If the automotive industry is disrupted more significantly, we're not sure if we're ready for that. So right now, we're still trying to find the soft landing. We try to compromise everything, and we try to have the policies that's quite resilient and flexible. But at the same time, we need to increase the strength of our country to be the production base for EV. We have to address this problem just like we address the problems in tourism when there are a lot of Chinese operators, but in Thailand, and they call it local content. So let's say 50 years ago, Thailand is a country of agriculture. Right now, we want to be a country of the next-gen industries, but we don't have that technology. We don't have that innovation. But what we have, the strength, is the strategic location. It's our location. Just like the minister mentioned earlier. We have the labor, we have the skill. We have a lot of people in the working age who don't have job because they're transitioning themselves from agricultural sector to the new gen industry. A lot of car producers from Japan, from Germany, from America, when they in Thailand, we have to import a lot before we get this comprehensive supply chain. Before Thai companies can be in the supply chain, it's going to take around like 10 or 20 years. So let's say if we have more EV, if Thailand would become the EV production base, there are only a few players, I would say, in the world, and Thailand would be one of them, of the EV production player. I would say that Thailand right now is better than Thailand 50 years ago, because we have the know-how, we have certain numbers of business people who can be ready. It might not take around 15 or 20 years. We might take only 5 or 10 years to get in that supply chain of the EV production. However, when the industry is changed, the whole system is disrupted. So we have to really act fast. Why does the price of EV car lower very fast after we bought? I would have to say that the competition is really high. And what they do in China, the strongest one survives, I would say. So let's say in the first phase, around 400, 500 business. However, after 2 or 3 years, the number of the companies that would survive would be lower. And I would say that in the few years to come, there would be only 5 or 7 companies left That is their strength. They do homework, and they do homework really hard in order to remain competitive. They try to find a way to be competitive in the market. Let's say the cars that can sell the best, they focus on that. And they focus on how to get them cheaper, how to produce the part cheaper so they can sell the car cheaper. Let's say for Elon Musk, we talk about premium cars. People who would be the clients would be the new gen people with a lot of money. However, the technology today disrupt this industry. They try to make the price cheaper, and they try to increase the options, more alternatives for the customers. So this is a change that the Chinese people want to see. We see P&L, a lot of businesses, they cannot survive. They get bankrupt. However, some of them can reduce the cost of battery production from 40%. They can reduce from 40%. So back to the question. Let's say they buy the car for around 500,000 baht, but in a few months, it's a lot cheaper. This is one of the consequences of the technological disruption. And from now on, let's say, when you buy a car and you use a car for 5 years and then you sell it, you might not suffer from great loss. Now you have to rethink that. When you buy a car, next year you want to buy something. It's just like a phone, because they're going to be the features and the functions. It's going to be faster. The new models would come out faster. Then, if you invest on something, you might have to rethink the model of investment. If you buy the car this year, you might want to sell it next year, not 5 years to come. So I would just say the challenge right now that we have to reform the industry. I would like to show this picture to all of you. It's quite simple. On the left is the first industries, mostly OEM. It's the industries, I would say, they're obsolete. And the owners of this industry, owners of the products who invest in Thailand, they got disrupted. Let's say Volkswagen, they have to shut down the factories in Germany, 3 factories. What they have to do, they talk to China. They want to shake hands with China, and they want to produce EV car. The world is changing. So for the first industries, the infrastructure, the population structure is changing, and Thai people, they don't want to do 3D, the dirty, difficult, dangerous. Thai people don't want to do jobs like that. Dirty job, dangerous job, difficult job. The next gen people want to do easy job. So how can we change ourselves? We need to upskill the people. And we need to have the measures. We call it 4 goals. The second one is how can we shift from the first industries to next gen industries? And this is the new growth engines and sustainability. Under the framework that I mentioned earlier, we need to focus on the sustainability, green industry, net zero. We have to focus on green industry, clean technology, net zero. That's how we can shift from first industries to next gen. The first go is go digital and AI. We have to escalate the potential of the technology, and also AI. This is really important. And FTI, we have the package with digital group called Digital One for the members of FTI and Thai SMEs to access the information and everything. We have a package for them to access, just like starter kits, around 1,100 baht. It's a package for all the members. The second go is go innovation. We have to look at the models of the countries where SMEs survive. Let's say Taiwan. We can look at them as an example. Or Israel. They're really good. They're small countries, but they can go worldwide. So we need to have the fund. So thank you to the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research, and Innovation. They have a project called Innovation One Fund. So we give fund to startups and SMEs so they can work together, use technology and innovation to support the business. We have done this for a year and a half. A lot of people joined the project. I think this is a really good initiative. And the third goal is go green. It's really clear that SMEs would have to follow this path. You have to, if you cannot go green, you cannot be included in the supply chain. A lot of countries who have a production base in Thailand, if you want to be part of that supply chain, you have to go green. Because if you're not going green, they cannot work with you. And the fourth goal is go global. How can you expand to the global market? Whether it's the development of the products and the services of Thai. So this is something that we have to focus on, the 4 goal measures in the industrial reform to the next-gen industries. Another thing that is really important, the next-gen industries. This is just some of the pathways, some of the guidelines, but I think this is the only way to strengthen the potential of Thai industries. And this policy wouldn't be a success without collaboration between the public and private sector. So in the morning session, I got to talk to the Minister of Industry. He talked about the cost of electricity, the electricity bill everyone talk about and concern. He said that in Thailand, the cost of energy, one of the costs, we focus on it, cost of electricity. Our neighboring countries, Vietnam around 3 baht, but for Thailand it's 4 baht. How can we compete with them, right? How can they do it, and how can we not be able to do it? Why do we have excuses all the time? We say that even though the electricity cost is high, our electricity generation is quite stable. But that shouldn't be an excuse. Let's say it's no use because it's still expensive. Even though we have secure energy production, stable production, but it's still expensive. That's a problem. The minister got to talk to many people around the world, could learn from many successful countries, and we tried to lower the cost of electricity for Thailand to be lower than 3 baht. And if we could do that, it would be a huge success. Another thing we have to do is the government would have to... Another problem that we have to address is the industrial reform. Actually, it's the reform of everything. Obsolete laws. Around 100,000 laws. Do we want to break Guinness World Record? We want to be the first in the rank to have highest number of laws. But if you look at the South Korea, around 12,000 laws. They cut the number by half to only 6,000 laws. How can we change that? We need to have the legal reform. We have to unlock our potential in legislation. We have to unlock potential, just like the Solar Act. Our minister tried to unlock the potential for these solar panel installation, right? We don't have to ask permission anymore. So we have to do the same for the legal part, the legislation. If we can do that, we would have competitive advantage. So a lot of things that we can do. Another thing that I would like to mention, we have to build the Thai brand. We have to encourage Made in Thailand policy. Thank you very much to the Ministry of Finance. They include Made in Thailand policy in their act. A lot of SMEs, actually a lot of countries, they are protectionist. They try to protect themselves. They try to support local products. So we have to protect our country as well. We have to protect our local products. don't only buy cheap things. We have to buy things that are produced in Thailand. Not only buy made in China because it's cheap. In Thailand, we have high number of budget, but it's not distributed to Thai SMEs. It goes to China because they sell cheap products. So how can we fix that? How can we change the number of budget allocation to Thai SMEs even more? The number would circulate in the system, and we can help strengthen the power of Thai SMEs. Wow, I can see the smile on the face of the director of OIE. Okay, let's talk about Kun Sang Chai, president of Thai SME Confederation. So we get questions from the floor as well. So Thai SMEs, how can they change themselves? What change would they have to do? And the Thai SMEs that get affected by the cheap products from China, are there any things that Thai SME has to do to be able to compete with the Chinese producers, or anything that Thai SMEs need help from the government? Okay, let me show you the slides. A lot of things I would like to talk about. A lot of things that I would like to share with you today. Okay, let's talk about the government sector first. What is something that Thai SMEs need from the government? These are the 6 measures. It's urgent. It's something that Thai people need, especially Thai SMEs. The first one is the measures. You can see the proportion of wealth distribution to SMEs. How can we help small enterprises grow, increase their competitive advantage? We have to help them do the branding. The second one, we have to focus on the local economy. We have to help lower the cost of SMEs. This is something that the government is working on. We have to do the energy reform that would help the local economy. And the third thing is we need to have a measure to guarantee the access to the low cost of SMEs, and we have to help them recover from NPL situation. If we help them lower the burden in terms of NPL, let's say the first 3 years they don't have to pay the tax, we need to have the recovery process to help them. For example, lower the interest rate. We need to have the process to help them scale up SMEs. The fourth measure is something that's really big, and that is about upskilling SMEs and the labor in Thailand. Skill development is really important. So how can we make people outside of the system in the system? And also for the fifth one, we need to have a legal reform, because a lot of legislations appear as obstacles, not benefit to the SMEs. And we have to focus on digital blockchain platform for SME. How can we make the SME work together with the digital change? And also we have to protect SME from international investment. What is really important to help SMEs, we have to look at the definition of SME, because the definition of the bank is different from the definition of SME for the Thai SME Confederation. And for some agencies, they have different definition of SMEs. So what is the definition that would be used by everyone? We have to be clear about that. Another thing, we have to be clear about the Thailand e-commerce platform. We have to encourage this. Because right now we use the government spending. Let's say we focus on international platform. We need to use the money of the government on Thai platform, not international platform. We have to focus on this. We have to make this happen. Another thing is really important is GDP SMEs. For Thai SMEs, we have BDS. We talk about SMEDP, Made in Thailand policy. The SME procurement, we feel that the Thai SME can do that really well. and the Ministry of Finance can do it well. We have to help one another. For example, we have to increase the market share for SME. Because we have seen a lot of nominees from overseas, and I think that is quite dangerous. That's really competitive for Thai SMEs. So we can see an example for China in the GBA, and they have this strategy for a long time. But we just have this strategy. We have BOI, which is really strong. We have the Northern Economic Corridor, Northeastern Economic Corridor. We had a lot of economic corridor in 4 regions, but we're just starting that. How can we make that happen? For the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research, Innovation, they have the project. They use a science park, and they're going to connect SME startup. They want to create and build the network and ecosystem for SME. We need to ensure that the wealth distribution is to the micro and small enterprises. And also another problem for SME is the credit term. 92% of the SMEs say that they lack this liquidity. We have to help them overcome this burden. We have to help them. For example, we can help with the credit term. Let's say in Indonesia it's 30 days, or in Indonesia it's 45 days. But in Thailand, the credit term is 60 days. That is too long. In America, they have a law for credit term to pay the money. They would have to use the money, and they have to pay it to the suppliers within certain days. We can see good examples of many countries where they help their SMEs lower the burden by helping in terms of credit term. So that's something that Thailand have to do. And for Thailand, we have to increase the strength of branding. We have to encourage Made in Thailand policy. And we need to have globalization from local to global. I think to build a brand is really important. No matter what size of the company in Thailand, I feel that we have so much potential. Our SMEs have so much potential. Let's look at the brands, international brands. Thai people cannot do that. Maybe we lack the storytelling that we can compete with the big brands around the world. Let's say in China, they have COFCO, China Oil and Foodstuff Corporation. They're like the giant, buying rice from around the world, and they do the Chinese packaging, and they sell it in their country, and they export as well. It increases revenue to the country. We have a lot of cooperation in Thailand. What are we doing? What can we do to help the country? How can we attract more investors? And how can we export more? How can we generate more revenue for the country? How can we help Thai SME grow overseas as well? Through the mechanisms, the system that we have. And also we have to help lower the cost of living, the cost of everything. So I have to say that the access to the fund to help the people overcome the obstacles in terms of the NPL or the debt, credit term, everything we have to help them. The Ministry of Industry, we have the budget for small enterprises. And also we have the funds, many funds. And also we have the SMED Bank. And when we talk about the development, whether it's the skill development department or other departments, there are many departments to help Thai SMEs. And also for SME innovation scale up, how can we make the diverse innovation of the Ministry of Higher Education to satisfy the needs of SME, and how can we help the SME do more, whether it's about research and development? And also there are a lot of standards. What is necessary for SME? What knowledge about standards they have to know? We have a lot of labels, green labels, in Thailand, in other country. Also, we have to develop the skills for the people as well. One of the problems is the education. Around 15.6 million people, the labor in Thailand, they graduate from primary school or lower than that. I would say that around 40% of the people, they lack knowledge. They're not quality labor. So we need to upskill them. We need to teach them to be able to work with other people, to be professional, to have the knowledge necessary to work. Another thing we have to do is legislation reform. There are a lot of things we have to fix, we have to change to make it not obsolete. And to make we have to guarantee the blockchain platform and to increase the channel to information for SMEs. If we can synergize everything, we can collaborate with all the stakeholders. We're going to add the wings to the Ministry of Industry. We're going to be the warrior that can fight on ground and on air. We would be the fighter in the economy. We have to fight against the trade war, geopolitics, AI war, digital disruption, and also this poverty war as well. The director of OIH just mentioned aging society. I don't see a lot of aged people here though. But today we have to say that our country is entering this aging society. So how can we guarantee that our country can grow sustainably? So these are the things that SME has to do. We have to apply the self-sufficiency economy, green economy, creative economy, or circular economy. How can we guarantee the livelihood of Thai people and also the sharing economy as well? We have to distribute wealth to all the population in the country. Right now, we're like in a relay race. We have to help one another. The government, private sector, public sector, SMEs, and labor, together we have to help. If we can do it, we can do it together. So, takeaway from the director of OIE, after we have heard all of them, we're like the agency to drive the economy of the country. Can you give some takeaway for the participants? So we will give the presentation slides to everyone here. A brief takeaway from on behalf of the Office of Industrial Economics, we feel that we have to restructure the system and everything. And we welcome all the private sectors and all the stakeholders to have a conversation with us. We're going to have the policies and it's going to enter the cabinet hearing. And we would like to encourage more public engagement. And we try to transform the Thai industry towards the new economy era, especially the automotive industry, something that we give importance to. And also for the local content, we try to encourage that. For the battery, it's 15%. It has to be increased to 25%. But the potential, whether it's the outer parts and many parts, but it's going to be a constant battle with China because they're going to dump their price even lower. And we feel confident, though, that our policies with the work with other countries, the hybrid car production policies, we would be able to move our country towards that new economy era. So I give all the support to everyone. The logo on the slides previously, you didn't add the OIE, though. So it's something that we work together. We have to synergize, we have to collaborate, and we're going to set the policies that would be beneficial to everyone. So I'd like to give everyone assurance that we would be able to overcome all those obstacles. We see these opportunities among the challenges. We can work together. So the Ministry of Industry, we have a lot of funds. We have budget and money. If the Thai SMEs would like any help, you can approach us anytime. I would say that to give loans to SMEs, we need to abide by the Bank of Thailand's rules. So we have to analyze the performance. We have to look at the history, the performance of the company. So we listen to everyone and we try to adjust everything that we can to help everyone keep up with the change and to walk together, move towards future. So that's it for now. We still have some time for Q&A session. So a question from the floor. A question for the director of OIE. To accelerate the fund grant, it's going to affect the automotive industry. What do you think about the opportunity? And what are the plans to attract foreign investors, for example, Siemens, Hitachi, or CCRE, to invest in Thailand to exchange technology? What are the plans to attract foreign investments? So at the moment, we talked to the Minister of Industry, Permanent Secretary. We're going to develop. We heard from Turkey that they import the technology from Italy, and they try to develop the rail system. And for the we have to focus. We work together, the Ministry of Energy, the Ministry of Transportation. We have to develop the rail system, and also for us, we try to develop the infrastructure for the industrial sector as well. So for our country, we have local content for the rail system, but in the past, it's more about civil, not engineering work. So the Ministry of Transportation, they would like to develop more the bogie and also the head of the engine and everything to encourage more local content production. For question from Mr. Grengai, after a lot of industrial plants got shut down and a lot of people got laid off, are there any measures to help these people? So FTI, a lot of people are here. They're from FTI in the automotive industry. So in the past, this automotive industry, there are a lot of job opportunities. They work 3 shifts. If it's 2 shifts, it's 2 shifts plus OT. And they work 6 days a week. That's in the past. However, at the moment, the number is lower, number of hours, number of manpower, and the combustion ICE car got disrupted. It's become more EV and hybrid. We're going to have to help them, and we have to prepare them for the new economy era. Right now, we have the CFM1 cluster. This cluster is a cluster that help the entrepreneurs as well as the labor. They would be transitioned to another industry. So you can see after COVID-19 pandemic, there are a lot of import of medical devices. So we try to increase opportunities in that sector. So it's going to be better and better each day. Right now, we have the rail system that would be developed. We try to do the defense industry. We try to focus on defense industry more. So I see more opportunities in the job and or even the weapons development, machinery, because we focus more on defense industry. We're gonna set another industry, and that is the defense industry. And this is going to lead to more job opportunities. We talked to a lot of federations and confederations. There are a lot of potential here, and we can help the labor who used to be in the automotive industry transform themselves, upskill themselves, and join the defense industry. And so in the past, for boat industry, we might have to hire people from South Korea or China. But right now, we can hire Thai people if we help develop their skills. So the people who used to work in the automotive industry, the car parts, or even drone aviation industry, the more job opportunities. And last year, we have just opened the new industry, the 47, that is future aviation industry. The aircrafts, spacecrafts. This is the new S-curve of the country. And this is going to ensure job opportunities for people who got laid off after the shutdown of many plants. And also for some industries, we need to have the reskill and upskill because of the skills would change. Right now, we have Mr. Tawan, and he's been focusing on the skill development. We are preparing for the training and the workshops for the people to help them reskill and upskill. But in the future, AI and robotics and remediation would disrupt the labor. So you have to be aware. We have to reskill and upskill the people very fast before the change that comes from AI and automation and robotics in the future even more. Right now we have new industries with the production base, more production base in Thailand, for example, the PCB, printed circuit board, and a lot of high-tech production. We need high-skilled labor. What we have a labor with skills. However, to be in this kind of industry, you have to reskill, upskill, and you have to learn new skills. And we're prepared to work together to give the readiness to help reskill, upskill, and to help teach new skills to the labor. Thank you very much to all the questions. For the other questions and comments or suggestions, for those of you who still want to ask more, you can leave the questions to our staff. Or the feedback or suggestions, you can send to us, you can tell our staff, or you can put it in the feedback, the evaluation form. As for the slides presentations from the experts here, we asked all of them, and we would upload this in the link. And the Office of the Industrial Economics would post it on their social media platforms and also on their website. On this occasion, I would like to thank our 3 experts and panelists for joining us here. On this occasion, the Director of Office of Industrial Economics would like to present the token of appreciation to our panelists. We learn a lot about the fact, the situation at the moment, the plans, the directions, which is something that we have to work together to address the problem. On this occasion, I would like to invite Kun Krengkarai Tianakul, Chairman of FTI, Federation of Thai Industries, to receive the token of appreciation from the Director of OIE. On the next occasion, Mr. Sangchai Thirakunwani, President of the Thai SME Confederation, to receive the token of appreciation. And may invite our 3 panelists to join us here for the photo opportunity. OIE, the 16th Forum, Industry Reform, Transforming Thai Industry Towards the New Economy Era, organized by the Office of Industrial Economics under the Ministry of Industry. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice day.
และสำหรับในวันนี้นะ
And a person who lost your phone, you can contact the registration. You can see that our event today, there are a lot of challenges in many aspects. However, if we look at the challenge as an opportunity, even though it's hard, but it's possible. With the help of everyone and collaboration of everyone, I am Shruti Ma Phung Klam Suk. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice day. See you next time.
ขอความกรุณาทุกท่านนะคะที่มาร่วมงานในวันนี้ค่ะอย่าลืมนะคะสแกนบัตรจอดรถนะคะก่อนที่จุดลงทะเบียนนะคะที่จุด
For those of you who drove to the event today, you can get your car parked scanned at the registration table. And for those of you who have done the evaluation form, you can get the souvenir at the registration as well. Thank you.